Hello there, and you know what? It's summertime here, schools are out, and youth sports should be something that lots and lots of kids are doing. And yet, fewer and fewer are, fewer and fewer opportunities out there. So, in today's video, we really want to talk about how to start a youth sports program, how to get one going again in your community and make a community-based sports program. That's what we'll be discussing in this video. All right, so you're a parent out there and you're not really happy with the opportunities for your kids and you understand how important youth sports are. We've got to know why the opportunities have been falling to the wayside. So two, you can then begin to apply a couple effective strategies for building a youth sports program in your area. You really want to be clear on what your purpose is there so we can avoid some of the challenges like burnout and such. So all those things and more, that's what we're going to be covering next. If we're going to help reclaim youth sports, we got to understand what's been happening and why they've been falling apart. We've addressed this in other videos, but we need to reiterate it here so that because it'll factor into how you go about successfully building a youth sports program at the community level. Probably the most important factor in why they've been falling apart is parents have been kind of buying into this idea that's being sold by people who are running organizations and training centers, all these other things, that if you want your child to really develop at this sport at very young ages, they need to be playing against the best competition. So if your child shows any prominence at all at a young age, you need to get them playing against better kids because that's how you develop the skill faster. And there's a certain level of truth to that, right? And when you can begin to understand that as a motive, then that can help you shape your community program because the messaging is really going to be about skill development, right? That's really what parents are kind of after. They want the kids to have an opportunity to develop that ability to perform whatever sport it is that they find an interest. You also would want to be thinking in terms of multi-sports, right? There's a whole lot to be said about playing many sports when you're young and not specializing, which is the opposite message that's being delivered. And I've repeated this in numerous videos, but lots of college coaches have told me personally that they would love to see multi-sport athletes coming in because those multi-sport athletes are generally better athletes because they had done multiple sports over a long period of time than somebody who's just been playing one sport for an extended period of time. So that's important to remember as we look at how we're going to then go about setting up these youth sports leagues. All right, so you've got your child and you want to see them have an opportunity to get involved in a sport that maybe the opportunity is only travel basketball or soccer, whatever. There's really no youth soccer for the younger kids. That's wrong. We need to change that. Well, there's two ways that you can go about trying to get that going in your local area. You're obviously going to need to, begin to communicate with some of the other parents that you get to know through school groups and other things. But then it is trying to hook up with a national organization that would be like the governing body that you try to start your own chapter of, let's say, Little League or Cal Ripken baseball, something like that. Or you're going through your local parks and recreation department who can help with the funding and the marketing and those sort of things. So whether it's like a police athletic league or a local parks and rec league, you connecting to an organization is going to help provide fields, insurance, some of those other necessities that you're going to be doing. And then you want to begin thinking about, all right, what is it that we're going to be all about? Yes, hopefully it's about showing the kids how to have some fun while also developing the skills. So this is where teaching and practicing will come in. What you need to be able to offer is what is taking some of these other kids away at a lot more money, and which is the idea that the parents think, oh, they're definitely going to get better by doing this travel team, what have you. They're going to play more, they're going to play better competition, they're going to get better. I think that's a fallacy. It's a huge fallacy. You can, especially at young ages, start developing the athletic talent locally with good coaching and some like clinic kind of thing and regular practices. That's the important thing when you begin to kind of structure these under the governing body, is how you're going to offer that. The games and the fun in that, the league competition, and then how you're going to develop the skill. You know, I'll talk from a personal experience where, as a baseball guy, and boys were young and little league's done before school's even getting out, the youth little league. There's no summer baseball. Like, how can there be no baseball in the summertime, right? It just blew my mind. Well, another father, who I didn't know at the time, had the same feeling. And his son and my son was the same age. So he started, it was called the Boys of Summer. So he communicated with some other little leagues in the local area to get in touch with the fathers and moms. And we got together about 6 different teams that had a quote travel. It was just traveling from the neighboring towns to neighboring town. We put together a league, right? We had some practices. We played games. We half of June through July, the Boys of Summer. And that filled a need. Now, what was missing was there was no real true governing body. So when the fathers who organized it and helped get it going tried to pass the baton off to the next group because their kids were getting older, that's where it kind of fell apart. So that's one piece we definitely want to be thinking about, is how to structure it so it can last beyond that original group who gets it started. One of the things to think about as you plan out some of this is this idea of multiple sports and how you might try to organize that. So the idea of doing camps throughout the whole summer, because so many parents want their kids, you know, they need some way to have them involved in things because they're both still working, right? And school's not in session. Sometimes they send them, you know, off to summer camps, but maybe you can do some things locally where the leagues take over and you're combining multiple sports. So you have kids there all day, and maybe in the morning they're doing baseball, in the afternoon they're doing track, or they do soccer for a little while, they do a little football stuff. But the idea behind all of these is teaching skills, athletic skills, and then getting them playing games, right? So you teach and you play. You teach them about competition, you're having winning and losing, and you're teaching them, you know, what happens with those, the trophies, the whole works. These sort of programs need to be there. And as they get a little bit older, you can start doing it from town to town and expand that competition a bit. But it's all about teaching some of the fundamentals. And the last thing I want to talk about is sustainability. Right? You have the passion. You kind of work. You get this league going. Your child or children, right? If you start this program with your oldest, maybe you've got 2 or 3, 4 kids. My youngest is done. Move on. You're ready to kind of hand it off to somebody. If you haven't gone about connecting with some other big organization or maybe the town Parks and Rec, and there's no like governing body, you haven't recruited new parents who come in and said, look, we're going to need somebody to help run this, then it can fizzle out. It's real important to get other parents to coming in, involved, so you can pass the baton. There's structure, there's a whole organization in place. elections with boards and secretaries and treasurers, all that, right? In order to keep it sustainable. Or if you're working through there's one reason why some people go through your Parks and Rec, they then hopefully will be able to, bring in a new head person to run this particular thing so that it goes on, it sustains, it goes beyond the original founders of it. All right, well, we're done yet another video, and as always, it seems repetitive, but I do want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Also, give me feedback. I'm trying to get these better and better. So, I'm down here, this learning curve. But in particular, you might want to check out the video, How to Determine Playing Time in Youth Sports. And that could tie right in with the one we just did. So check out that video today, and we'll see you again.